And now let's talk about a country closer to India, or closest, as some would say. I'm referring to Nepal. In the last few months, we've spoken a lot about India-Nepal ties, how Nepal unilaterally changed its map, how it claimed the areas of Limpi, Adura, Lipulek and Kalapani as its own, how China is growing its presence in Nepal, how China is trying to burn bridges between Nepal and India, how the people of Nepal are protesting against China. And amid all of this, there's something everyone has come to realize, it seems. China may have promised a $500 million loan to Nepal, but there are some things that checkbooks, even Chinese checkbooks, cannot buy. They cannot buy geography, they cannot buy culture, and definitely not history. India and Nepal are knit together by all of them. Nepal shares an 1,850-kilometer-long border with India. It stretches along 5 Indian states: Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal and Sikkim. It is an open border. At least 8 million Nepalese live in India. They do not need a visa. They're given facilities and opportunities at par with Indian citizens. Trade along the India-Nepal border is unmatched. India is Nepal's largest trading partner. The bilateral trade in 2018-19 reached $8.27 billion. India's exports to Nepal, $7.76 billion. What is traded? What has been traded between the two countries? Practically everything: petroleum products, motor vehicles, spare parts, rice, millets, paddy, vegetables, thread, coal, electrical equipment. In other words, basic necessity, essential goods. Nepal relies on India for them. It also depends on India for access to sea, for third country trade. If the route is recalculated via China, then it becomes 4,000 kilometers long. 3 times more than the distance between Nepal and Kolkata. It is not viable. India and Nepal also share culture. And before I talk about it, I want to show you an excerpt from an interview. Nepal's Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli spoke to WION this weekend. And here's what he said about the common legacy and culture that India and Nepal share.
Now we have political borders. But there was one time when Jammu Dipe Bharatavarshe Uttarakhande like this. I am talking about Bhaskaracharya, who discovered about the theory of gravitation. And it was 1150 AD. And his book, Siddhanta Shiromani, was published in 1210. And Newton found that theory some 500 years late.
This is the first time I've heard of this.
Oh, me too. I studied in my course books when I was a child that the theory of gravitation was found by Newton. Philosophy was developed in this part of the earth. I am talking about this part of earth means Uttarakhand. And the Ayurveda and other many researches were developed here. Similarly, the astronomy was developed here. The civilization was started here, in this part of the world. I am not talking about the political border of nowadays. I am talking about now, because of political boundary, that may be in some country or other. But I am talking about Takshashila, I am talking about Nalanda, I am talking about our tradition of education and university.
The Government of India provides 3,000 scholarships to Nepalese nationals every year. Indian institutions like the Sangeet Natak Academy, the Sahitya Kala Academy work in close proximity with various schools in Nepal. India set up the first foreign library in Nepal. The two countries share food and language. At least 6 lakh Indians live in Nepal. This includes doctors, engineers, IT professionals. The same applies to the Nepalese. They have relatives in India. A lot of people I spoke to in Nepal told me that India is like home to them. It does not feel like another country. And come to think of it, why would it? India and Nepal share a civilization. We have common history. There is no alternative but for the two countries to work together. New Delhi knows this. Kathmandu does too. Here's something else that Prime Minister Oli told me.
How would you describe your relationship with India today?
Very good. Far better than before.
Before is when?
Always.
Okay.
At the time of British India, we had fight, and after that, we are gradually developing our friendship, and now we are in the final stage of completing our ties to develop in a really new height or wider sense where there are no problems at all. The year 2021 will be the year where we can declare that between Nepal and India there are no problems at all. And I am working for that.
You said 2021 will be the year when India and Nepal will have no differences. I'll come and see you in 2022 and we can revisit this conversation.
I believe that 2021 will be the year where we can declare that there are no problems between our two countries, Nepal and India.
Evidently, the India-Nepal relationship is not optional. It's the only viable alternative for the governments of these countries. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.